Hi, welcome to vlog discussion number 9 and week number 10. I've gotten the previous weeks wrong because I say the similar number. I'm so sorry. But now I would love to talk about two essays from week 10's assigned readings. And the first essay I would like to talk about is Hollywood's Love Affair with Surveillance by Willie Osterwell. And I thought this essay was super interesting as it really informed me a lot about movies and how it comes off in this different perspective that the writer approaches. As the writer really described that movies semi make us comfortable with the idea that the government and NSA, which is like the National Security Agency, is watching our every move through our electronics, cameras, always listening. And he really provided this insight and provided examples of different films which involved characters that represented, this kind of surveillance figure in the movies, which obviously refers back to everyday life, to how we are currently. I thought it was super interesting because this is a topic that I feel like I grew up my whole life talking about. I feel like I am super grateful to be part of my generation as we have open discussion to a lot of different, theories, since it's obviously always have been told, the government's watching you through your laptop camera, you should buy one of those sliders to hide your webcam and they won't be able to see you, block your camera view. Always being told, like your phone is always listening to what you want, and then suddenly when you're opening an app or when you're just Googling on Google Chrome, on the Google Chrome app on your phone, people are watching, and then suddenly you get an advertisement about something you were verbally talking about, and you're like, wow, is my phone listening to me? All of these this discussion about surveillance and being watched by the government is something that many people have talked about before, and I never really connected it to how Hollywood does normalize this mentioning how we're being watched. It kind of makes us be more okay with it, as I thought it was really interesting how they provided the Avengers as an example, the Avengers superheroes, and how the different characters, even Captain America, they represent this surveillance. They represent what we should be fearing, but they also represent that they are the solution to the fears. They are against the government, even though they are creations of the government. And I think it's super interesting, this perspective, and it just gave me a lot of insight to how we can view real life and how real life is depicted in movies, and the way it is portrayed in films really does affect the way we portray that specific topic as well. And then the next essay I would like to talk about is by David Denby, Has Hollywood Murdered the Movies? I thought this was super interesting. In particular, I would like to talk about by now there is a wearing, numbing, infuriating sameness to the cycle of American releases year after year. Much of the time, adults cannot find anything to see. And that reason alone is enough to make us realize that American movies are in a terrible crisis, which is not going to end soon. And I think that was a perfect sentence to really summarize what Denby is trying to talk about in this essay. He really wants to talk about how there's so much talent in the world, actors, creators, but what American pays attention to is stuff we've seen before. We are stuck in this bubble of the same ideas, of versions of the same ideas in films, and it's time to burst that bubble. It's time to show something new, and I fully agree with Denby because I think that we are kind of just used to these rom-coms or these horror films of ghosts that pop up for a second, or the ideas, like the same ideas have always been promoted in films, and there needs to be a change. There's so much creative outlets, so many different kinds of people that are ready to share and create, and I think it's important to talk about that. Overall, I hope you really enjoyed my video. Thank you so much.